and me. Look at that. All right. So this is Rough Cut Hotline GeoffBest. So let's go ahead and talk about this. All right. So Jeff, that's his car. There's his track bike. It's a S-Works. I think it's a Lankster. Let me turn this up a little bit. There's the GoPro. So this is behind the scenes. Basically,
can you hear me when I'm talking?
I'm borrowing his mountain bike when I'm doing this.
But
I'm
is
filming.
it like just from me talking or from the device? Oh, okay.
I'm filming on his mountain bike. So he
this
has a lav.
This is an S-Works Lankster, somewhere between 06 and 08. Just built it up from shit. Didn't know how to ride a track bike. And
So it's not a cross bike.
no, I have
What size tires do you have on there?
either 23s or 25s.
So he's got really small tires on that bike.
Meant to have more PSI, but had to run with 95 today.
What's the gear ratio?
48-16.
So this is after we
Gotta
already.
get ready for that Paradise Loop race.
And then what are you doing?
We already went down the gravel descent.
Resistance Racing
This
is
was at the
throwing
very end of the video.
a fixed Paradise Loop. Sounds like just gonna be a balls to the wall sprint for 22, 23 miles.
He's about to race that right after
Sick.
this. He got second place.
Gonna get cracked.
So
Let's go to this visitor center. I've been meaning to pick up a
I wanted to
headlands
get a
map.
little bit of B-roll of like showing what the headlands look like. So he had an idea of coming in here and grabbing a map to give the video a little more context of kind of where we're going a little bit. So we go into this little visitor center, which is on the bottom.
See if we can find something new.
And then we grab this map to kind of show where we're going to go. Again, we already did all of this. This was after the fact. We already filmed it to give us some context.
Sick.
And I used most of this footage on a short Instagram clip. I didn't really use it for the hotline.
What's next?
But he
Top
did.
of Hawk Hill.
He did all this. I'm gonna go back a little bit. You can see right here. That's the mountain bike. You can see it on the top left corner, right above my head there. I was borrowing his mountain bike, so the whole time I'm filming, I'm borrowing his bike, and it's like a size small Nomad, which is like 150 front and back suspension. It's very slow for me to follow someone on a track bike, but since we went down gravel, it wasn't that big of a deal. But just a little behind the scenes of like how I was filming. I was very uncomfortable on that bike, but it was the only bike that I had when I was there, so it worked out. You know, we still made the video.
Top of Hawk Hill. Up here.
So we're talking about how we're getting up. So we're at the top of Hawk Hill here.
Top of Hawk Hill.
There's his
Can't
bike.
see anything,
Both of those
but,
bikes are his.
Bridge is over there. We're getting ready to go down.
Um,
Hit some dirt, hit some road, hit some dirt. Hopefully not die. Hopefully not get a flat.
you can see the weather in San Francisco. There's always like
weird.
some fog. You can't even see. If that's a clear day, you can see the ocean behind, way out there. But since it's so cloudy and foggy, you can't see anything. And it's
Where did we come from?
typically like that. What's up, Peter? So, remember, he's on 23C tires. This is just the beginning, some gravel. It's a track bike. He's got no brakes on there. The idea of the video was to do a little bit of gravel, road, and gravel on the track bike, just to show some of the versatility in the Bay Area and like how riding has always been.
So loose.
Some of these hairpin turns are kind of stupid. It's really hard for him to get around. We knew when we were shooting this that this part of the video most likely wouldn't be in the hotline just because it was so slow. I had in mind these tunnels that we're going to go through in here in a second. You'll see him coming out of the blackness right into the shot. We had to do it a few times because cars were coming like right at the same time. So it took us a few takes. I don't remember if they're in the rough cut or not. But as you can see, this whole thing is an old battery. It's like an old, huge gun tank from World War II.
Come up, pass you somewhere in the middle of the
these things to build
Yeah.
defenses around California.
And then cut right in front of you. Sorry,
So that big hole in the ground used to have a huge fucking gun that would, like a turret gun that would turn with huge shells. It's kind of crazy to see old war stuff, you know. So here's the tunnel shots that I was talking about here. So there's two. So he starts in gravel, comes out, goes into this tunnel, and this is what I thought would be the sweet like entrance for a hotline, right? Starting all black like this, and then coming out of the tunnel to reveal like San Francisco. Yep, and I guess I cut out the scenes where it didn't work. So then this is Konzelman. This is a hill bomb. Drops down, and we're going towards Coastal, which is a hiking and a biking trail. So you can hear the wind. It's very windy. You can see the clouds coming over the top of the hills right there. And how much wind there was. A lot of wind coming. Little side note on the planning. He asked. I told him that what he's wearing is very important. So he gave me a couple color options, and I told him red. Red would be the best color. Not only does it match his bike, but it's more about I knew he was going to go right into some green, and it could be foggy, so the red would pop with the green. It's a complementary color, so you'll see it already looks pretty good. You can see he rides. People mention about his position on the bike. There's always people in the comments that are going to talk about that. He intentionally has the saddle a little bit lower because he was going to go ride in the gravel. So you want to have your seat a little lower so you can give yourself some suspension on the bumps and the chunks.
Dumb in the dirt instead.
And this is Coastal. This is where the trail starts. And this drops down to where we started. This is
Bells that don't work.
I've never seen anyone hit this on a track bike. He's the first one I've ever seen. So right now, the mountain bike is feeling good on me. I'm like chilling.
Oh yeah.
I love the way the gravel sounds on his tires.
Nice fucking gust.
You can hear that wind, but you see the colors now. The red on the green. Feels good. It's hard to see, but there are some really deep sandy spots and really deep cuts in the ground. And he's got some good bike handles and some skills. This corner especially is very loose. When I come through on my cross bike or my mountain bike in the past, like I'm like washing out. I mean, I'm usually going a little faster than he is right here on that stuff, but like that's shows a lot of bike handles through some of those corners. And you'll see how he's polite to some hikers. There are hikers on this trail, so you gotta watch out. Sometimes they're around the corner and you come around, they're still in there, so that's why we all have bells and on the West Coast, ringing bells, and so people can hear you. People actually hike on the trails out here. You can just hear the gravel on his tires. It's super cool.
Yep. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
See, he's hollering to let people know that someone's coming. Because this is a blind corner here, especially when the green is all grown out. Yo. Oh, there's someone right there.
Sorry, coming on the left. Thank you. Just two.
He's calling out the party. There's only two of us. And I even like the little blue tote bag he has. There's nothing in it. I don't know why he was wearing it, but I like it. Extra little like drapey thing.
Okay.
You'll notice that whenever someone wears a button-down shirt, when I film them, I always tell them to unbutton it. I just think it looks better when something is flapping. Just a little bit of insight on like how I prepare this stuff. Ooh, he came clipped out right there. He hopped over a big crack, like a drainage crack. Came unclipped, clipped back in. Oh, there, he just clipped back in there. This corner is the sharp corner. You gotta slow down, and he's still not clipped in. Wow. I didn't realize that until watching this again with you guys. This part gets really fast. This is probably the steepest part of the whole trail. Climbing up this sucks right here. I'm kind of tired.
Oh yeah, that's hard. Okay.
Look at these cracks. These are from all the rainwater.
Okay.
He handled it just fine. I did not. I got pushed off. And then from here, it's pretty chill.
Oh, it's still sketchy.
And then it shoots you out onto the road, and then that's the end of this hotline. I just like the way that this, the sound of his bike, because he has the mic, the sound of his bike and the sound of the gravel and the skids and his little commentary is really funny. If you know him, he's like kind of talking under his breath.
Let's take a vote. Who thinks I can feel my hands?
He said, "Let's take a vote. Who thinks I can feel my hands?" Because he's just so numb from all the bumps.
Lord.
So normally we ride this on cross bikes and mountain bikes, and then we shoot up here onto the road. That's like a nice little tiny little bump, and you can like fly off of it. And then there's a trail to the right, and then we climb up and keep going. So this is just one little tiny segment of like some stuff that we normally ride on other bikes. Give him a little high five there.
Just chill.
And then
First week on these road pedals. I'm surprised I was able to survive that corner.